It's already the 28th day of January 2020. Welcome to the news tonight. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and Mohammed Mugalu will be joining us later on the sign language. But first, let's take a look at tonight's top stories. In our top story today, President Museveni lashes out at the judiciary over investors. The UPDF confirms its military aircraft crash and investigations are underway. In other news, Uganda is still averse to the online e-passport. And the Uganda Judicial Service Commission is set to replace the Chief Justice. And in sports, the Silverbacks resume training. Hello and thank you for joining us here on UBC TV. Now, the UPDF has embarked on military civil activities as the day to commemorate NRA's first attempt to attack Kabamba nears. Now, on February 6th, Tarehe Sita will be held in Nakaseke district to celebrate the genesis of the liberation struggle. Now, Ivan Kawa reports with his details.
Uganda People's Defence Forces has rolled out a program for the forthcoming Tarehe Sita to be held in Nakaseke at Butalangu grounds. Tarehe Sita and Armed Forces Week brings the UPDF closer to people through embarking on symbolic works to give back to the community. Uganda People's Defence Forces shall renovate schools, hospitals, and also provide free medical services in Luweero, Nakasongola, and Nakaseke.
Doing HIV/AIDS prevention activities, we'll project some educational film shows, distribute some IEC materials, and carry out fumigation against vectors and vermin in selected health centers.
Other services are ongoing, and the Engineering Brigade continues its operations on different projects. This year's Tarehe Sita has been launched by the Vice President, Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi.
I remind you that you can only continue guaranteeing our security when you are healthy and strong. I therefore caution you to guard against such lethal weapons like AIDS, HIV, and other social ills that can endanger your life.
Tarehe Sita, a Kiswahili word meaning 6 days, is historical in the liberation of Uganda. Every year on the 6th February, Tarehe Sita is celebrated to mark the day of the first attack on Kabamba that led to a 5-year guerrilla war struggle that ushered NRA, now NRM, into power.
It's our way of accounting symbolically and reconnecting with the masses that they supported the liberation movement. I think, like in the Bible, we are one of the 10 lepers who come back to account.
This year's Tarehe Sita will be held under the theme consolidating the UPDF strategic partnership with the people to guard the gains of liberation. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Imbuya.
Well, thank you, Ivan Kawa. In other news, the Uganda People's Defence Forces have started investigations into what could have led the crash of the aircraft military jet Ranger AF-302 on a training mission. The helicopter crashed in Gomba on Tuesday morning, killing the pilot and another crew member. Now, Brigadier Richard Karemire, the UPDF spokesperson, says that the details of those on the plane will be made public once investigations are concluded.
The military helicopter Jet Ranger AF-302 on a training mission crashed in Gomba on Tuesday morning, killing the pilot and another crew member. According to UPDF, investigations have started.
One of the small aircrafts under our Air Force crashed in Butambara area for a training mission. There were 2 personnel on the aircraft, and sadly none of them has survived. Investigations have started in order to establish what the cause of that accident could have been. It was a military aircraft, a Jet Ranger A320 that was on a training mission. It's a training mission. I can't give details for now, as what we have to do is to await the findings of the team that is investigating the incident.
Eyewitnesses say the incident happened at around midday on Tuesday when the plane crashed on top of Ndese Hill in Butambala Gomba district. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Richard Karemire told UBC that Uganda's military aircraft is well maintained, describing Tuesday's incident as unfortunate.
Our military aircrafts, I can talk about them, that they are well maintained. We have not had many incidents, but it's always an accident can happen. So in relation to this one, we have to await the report of the investigators.
For how long is likely to be the report?
I can't give a timeline.
Karemire says details of the deceased will be made public once investigations are concluded.
We extend our deepest condolences to the families of the departed comrades and to the entire UPDF fraternity.
Bernard Iga, UBC TV, in Kampala.
May their souls rest in eternal peace, and of course we do salute you as UBC TV for serving the great nation, Uganda. In other news, the Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, is at the forefront of ensuring that the ICT sector tops the agenda in promoting income generation at all homesteads. Now the minister's move comes at a time when the ICT sector is looking at an alternative to the agriculture in terms of income generation.
In his 34th NRM victory speech, President Yoweri Museveni highlighted the need to embrace non-agricultural sectors to heighten the job market in Uganda. President Museveni cited the ICT sector as one of the key priorities to promote income generation at all homesteads and transform the country from what he dubbed as working for the stomach. Museveni said about 4,000 companies in the ICT sector in Uganda currently employ over 15,000 locals, a move that justifies the NRM agenda of transformation.
The ICT sectors, the ones using the computers, which is a new sector, we need to attract more factories, more service companies, and they are flocking in, because now we have put in place the basics. The roads you can see, you who came from Kampala.
Museveni's task is not a burden, as backed by the line minister for ICT and national guidance, Judith Nabakova, who has high hopes in the rate at which the ICT sector is growing and being harnessed in Uganda. Nabakova points out the recent innovation hub set up in Nakawa, Kampala, that will freely aid young innovators to develop their prototypes among many activities.
Because what we know, it has its positives and negatives, but we should capitalize on the positives to make it work out for the Ugandans, but also create employment for our youths, because there are so many companies that deal in ICT. Such companies can employ our youths. We talk about Google, we talk about Facebook, Twitter, but we can also have our own who are giants. They need to be embraced. Usually people think when something is Ugandan, it is fake, it is not authentic, but it is us to embrace our people when they develop such applications. We will work together the journey, and we shall be like the ones we are admiring.
Hardly 2 weeks in office as the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Nabakova is at the forefront of reorienting herself with her sector agencies to ensure positive results in the growth of the ICT industry. In her visit to Vision Group headquarters in Kampala, Nabakova called on the media to desist from spreading false information that will cause permanent damage about Uganda's economy.
In a way, because what I know, the media sets the agenda. They give out information, they set the agenda, and we call them the eyes and ears of the public. We believe in what they relay, what they give to the public. The public uses what they see, what they read to debate.
Nabakova was accompanied by Moses Wetasa, the Commissioner, Information and Communication at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. The team was guided by the Managing Director, Robert Kabushenga, into a tour of the services offered at Vision Group. Daniel Mugoya, reporting for UBC News.
So far, so good for the incoming minister, and we wish her all the best in her tenure. Now, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development requires an additional total of 15 billion shillings to facilitate the implementation of the SERGE projects across the country. Ntenjeru North MP Fred Baseke asserts that the implementation of the project countrywide will only be successful if the budget gap is addressed. Now, during the update meeting on the implementation of the Senior Citizens Grant, some members of parliament poked holes in the proposal to bring on board only senior citizens above 80 years in the countrywide exercise. The countrywide rollout that targets senior citizens above 80 years will kick off in March 2020.
We can lobby government to provide for the necessary resources, because for this current year running we have a gap of 11.2 billion, and what is happening now in the budget framework paper, what they have provided for, we have a funding gap of 15 billion. But we believe, as we engage other members of parliament and the Ministry of Finance, because this is a pledge, if as government you have pledged out to roll out, we hope finance will find the finances to make sure that this program is rolled out. And this is a role of members of parliament. We have to funding gap is 15 billion in order to roll out. But we also have the 11.2 billion for the current financial year. But we can raise it in parliament, and we believe they will provide the resources.
The program requires 45 billion in order to reach each and every part of this country, which is not indicated in the budget. Out of the 142 billion, less than that has been provided, and to be very important that for the national road to proceed as planned, that this money be provided by government.
Because after having waited for nearly 10 years, for all the 10 years, now the elders in our districts, only 80 years and above will now receive. The 60 years and above who have been patient waiting, they can no longer be enrolled on this system. Much as government is saying there's no money, and we've seen that there's the funding gap, I think that is, I still insist it is discriminative. Look at...
Now, in our lead story today, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has lashed out at judges for frustrating investors, saying that it directly retards development and government's efforts to drive the economy to a middle-income status. Citing the Tororo-based phosphate development project, President Museveni questioned the criteria used by some judges while handling cases involving big projects, accusing the judiciary for suffocating investors. The president advised the judiciary to prioritize commercial-related cases if the country's economic growth is to thrive.
Members of the judiciary are attending their 22nd annual conference running under the theme Discharging the Mandate of the Judiciary Towards a Modern, Professional and Effective Judiciary. While opening the conference, President Yoweri Museveni lashed out at judges for frustrating government programs, especially those geared at propelling the country's economy through investment.
That issue of compensation can go to court, but it should not stop the project.
should not stop the project. My job is a lobbyist. You lobby this one. Why should I lobby for the modernization of Uganda?
Whereas the president is cognizant of human resource gaps in the sector causing case backlog, he advised judges to prioritize commercial cases since they have an effect on the country's economic growth.
Who are fighting for divorce and so on, they can wait a bit. Let's first deal with the case of murder and commercial disputes, because these commercial disputes are the ones going really to shape our future.
Earlier, the Chief Justice Bart Katrebe highlighted achievements of the judiciary in the year ending and challenges that continue to downplay the judiciary in dispersing its constitutional mandate.
The implementation of this case backlog reduction strategy and plea bargaining has led to the reduction in pre-trial detainees from 51.4% in financial year 2017-18 to 47.7% in 2018-19.
Commenting on the recent recruitments in the sector, Katrebe lauded the president for the gesture, though he was quick to remind him that this was mere replacements. But Katrebe appealed to government to expedite the process of handling the issue of understaffing.
Additional judges and magistrates need to be recruited to fill the expanded structure of the judiciary to deal with the existing case backlog and expeditiously handle new cases, as experience has shown that land disputes tend to be more controversial where courts are either absent or less effective.
Despite his earlier attack, the president underscored the sector as a critical arm of government, pledging its salary enhancement until it reaches international standards.
But the legal, we can definitely move them to regional standards, even international standards, so that I have no problem with that, and I work for it.
President Museveni also proposed that retiring judicial officers should continue enjoying their privileges, earning either full or at least 80% of their salary while in service.
That they should retire with their either full salary or at least 80%, the pension side, or at least 80%. And that's what I'm also going to insist on.
Already, Cabinet passed the administration of the Judiciary Bill that intends to, among others, operationalize provisions of the Constitution relating to the judiciary, administration of justice, improve efficiency and effectiveness of courts. Dr. Kimono, UBC TV News.
Well, the president there meeting the judiciary, very serious matters to be discussed, or that were discussed rather. Let's take a short break and we shall be back with more news tonight. Please stay tuned.
That's my little angel Rose. Together with millions of other children, my daughter Rose is assured of learning something new every day. Moses, my husband, just like many other commercial farmers, has his business supported so he can provide for us. When my other little one was on the way, even with my pregnancy complications, it was a quick, smooth ride to Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital. Also, my new baby was able to make it through his first days with the help of specialized equipment, thanks to the reliable electricity which has also been extended throughout the country. All this and more has been made possible because of you.
Join us and together let's do more for our country. Get your free tin at www.ura.go.ug.
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Dial *185*6#, follow the prompts and make instant school fees payments. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Multitasking whilst driving is dangerous. Never take your eyes or attention off the road. Keep both hands on the steering wheel at all times. Don't eat or drink. Leave your mobile phone alone. Keep the music down. And stay focused. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Operation Wealth Creation is coordinating all government ministries, departments and agencies to unveil unique investment opportunities in every region of Uganda to local and international investors to transform subsistence farmers into the money economy. Operation Wealth Creation presents the Renzori Investment Expo, scheduled for the 30th to 31st of January 2020 at Mountains of the Moon University, Fort Portal City. Theme: Investment for Local Economic Development. This expo is one of the many regional investment expos anchored on agro-industrialization for local economic development, agri-led program, and will be held countrywide. Come explore investment opportunities in the Renzori region, from mining, tourism, agriculture, and many more. The guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. For more information, contact National Organizing Committee.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News tonight here on UBC TV, and also do remember we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube under the tags UBC TV Uganda. In our story today, the subcommittee of cabinet headed by Bright Ramirama has been formed to handle an investigation into alleged brutal activities on the fishermen on water bodies. The State Minister for Veteran Affairs, Adolf Mwesiges, revealed this to the House during today's sitting. And the subcommittee was formed this Monday The subcommittee was formed on Monday this week following the Parliament directive withdrawal on UPDF Protection Unit.
Spent about 4 hours in a meeting with the Minister for Defense, the Chief of Defense Forces, with the members from the island constituencies, discussing this.
Last month, the Parliament directed that all activities of UPDF Protection Unit on the water bodies be withdrawn following complaints by the fishermen. The matter has been pending in the House awaiting pronouncement by the relevant ministry, which matter attracted debate. However, on resumption of Parliament, the State Minister for Defence, Charles Sengola, informed the House that the ministry needed much more time to address the matter.
However, the statements are not yet ready now because I'm making consultations.
This prompted the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, to give the minister an ultimatum of 1 week to return to the House to give a comprehensive statement. Nonetheless, the Minister of Defence for Veteran Affairs, Adolf Mwesiges, informed the House that a sub-cabinet committee was formed Monday to investigate the same matter.
The Cabinet has set up a Cabinet committee which will be chaired by the Honourable Bright Ramirama in order to study the resolution, but also his committee has instructions to investigate all the complaints raised against UPDF Fish Protection Unit since its inception in February 2017 to date.
But in the meantime, as the Ministry of Defense, who is in charge of the operations of this unit, is there something you can do to deal with the specific issues that are there?
Mwesije told Parliament that the status quo of UPDF Protection Unit does not change until the committee is done with the investigation in 3 weeks' time.
We shall, as a ministry, call these officers to order so that they use the language that is appropriate.
What is happening on the lake, the soldiers are becoming too rough than even before. Have you given them such instructions in these days that you're doing your investigation?
I thought it was, I think the minister can help us understand in the interim measures whether he has also spoken to the UPDF officers.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Jacob Olanya has tasked the minister to come up with an immediate solution as the House awaits the report from the subcommittee.
The investigation might be this side when things are happening the other side, and so on and so forth. Is there a way that you can try to balance to see that people are helped?
He said, let us give the committee time to do this work, investigate all these complaints, and once the investigations are complete, government will come back to this house and report appropriately.
Nonetheless, fishermen in some landing sites like Kachango, Mwena and Kasekla, among others, expressed fear over the intended withdrawal of the army, saying it could lead to emergence of illegal fishing. It should, however, be noted that the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, last month proposed the invitation of the President to address members of Parliament on the same matter. The debate on the same matter resumes tomorrow as the Minister of Agriculture is expected to present his ministerial statement over the matter. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV News.
Well, now in business, Absa Bank Uganda has today gathered leaders from various industries to dissect the Africa Financial Markets Index. The Absa Africa Financial Markets Index, produced by the Official Monetary and Financial Markets Development, provides a toolkit for countries seeking to strengthen their financial markets infrastructure.
Today's gathering marks the third edition of Absa Financial Market Index report, which places Uganda in the 10th position with a score of 52 out of 100 overall and 2 points better than 2018 score, which showed Uganda as having a stable performance with a good foreign exchange access but low local investor capacity.
Goals to make it simpler or to add other measures like financial inclusion. So there are definitely ways in which the index can improve, but for now it's the only index that creates a benchmark on which to measure financial markets in the African economies.
Uganda ranks highest in East Africa on access to foreign exchange, a pillar that is supported by Bank of Uganda to facilitate growth in both private and public sectors.
Uganda has done, one, we have a more liquid foreign exchange market, especially Ikaba. Two, Bank of Uganda has been tracking movements and developments within on those sectors that affect the foreign exchange. So, by maintaining the stability of the exchange rate, we're introducing more certainty in those who are making investment decisions for either lending or for investment in this country.
The problem of attracting local investors still remains Uganda's lowest ranking pillar within the index.
Where Uganda still continues to have problems is in the area of actually improving the local industry conditions. And I think that what government perhaps could do is to begin to improve on the incentive regime and also the area of registration and servicing of companies.
The index produced by Official Monetary and Financial Institution Forum focuses on market depth coupled with access to foreign exchange, market transparency, tax and regulatory environment, capacity of local investors, and microeconomic opportunity as areas of interest. Reporting for UBC News, Penina Nahwera.
In the world of sports, the Federation of Uganda Football Association has hailed the under-17 national women's team over their triumph against Ethiopia in the first preliminary round of the World Cup qualifiers. Now, Uganda won its home and away games to progress to the next round. Meanwhile, the under-20 women's team hosts Tanzania on Sunday. Details report follow.
The under-20 national team has intensified training at the StarTimes Stadium in Lugogo ahead of the return leg game against Tanzania this Sunday. Uganda lost to Tanzania 2-1 in the first leg in Dar es Salaam and looking to better their performance this time around. During the training session held on Tuesday morning, the girls endured the heavy rains to work out. In training, emphasis was on transition, linking the defense to the midfield with an attack-minded format.
For the transition from defense to attack, that speed, it's the speed we need, the aggressiveness of players and willingness.
Tanzania is expected in the country on Friday. Meanwhile, the national under-17 women football team received a warm reception from top FIFA officials, welcoming them back from Baoda, Ethiopia, where they played and beat the hosts to qualify for the second round of the under-17 World Cup qualifiers. Uganda now faces Tanzania at the next stage. The latter eliminated Burundi 6-1 on aggregate. And in the other news, local-based basketball players who are summoned on the national team are undergoing training games Cambridge. The Silverbacks are preparing for the Afro basketball qualifiers. The 14 players training includes City Oilers Ben Komakech, Tony Drileba, Jimmy Enabu, James Okello, Innocent Ochela, while other players are of Ndeje, UCU Cannons, JKL Dolphins, and Betway Power. Uganda is in the same group with Morocco and Egypt. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBC TV.
Well, thank you, Amon, and that brings us to the end of our bulletin at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned for more news in our subsequent bulletin at 10 o'clock. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold and Mohammed Mugalu in Sign Language. We'll leave you with the weather updates.
Brought to you by NEMA, ensuring sustainable development.
Good evening once again. Welcome to the weather forecast with Kutesa Mil. We woke up to heavy rain, thunder showers in the most parts of the country. 9 a.m. this morning, Entebbe received 96.4 millimeters of rainfall. Soto received 65.3, Buda received 38.5, and our capital city, Kampala, received 15.3. This is due to the high pressure center that we see in our southern parts of the country. It brings in moist air within our country that brings us the rainfall that we receive these days. Tomorrow morning, we expect to wake up with thunder showers in most parts of the country, apart from Alua, Kasese, and Imbara that are expecting some cloudy condition. In afternoon hours, we expect a continuation of rainfall along the lake shores. Then most parts of the other countries are going to continue with cloudy conditions. Temperatures are expected to reach 28 in the northern parts of the country. Our capital city, Kampala, is going to be with 26, and we go to Kampala is going to have 23 degrees. In other cities of the world, we are forecasting Mombasa with light showers, plus Paris and Kigali, Dubai with hot conditions with rising to 29 degrees Celsius. And my name is Kutesa Mili. Welcome.
By NEMA, ensuring sustainable development.